Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you, and the headline of the news reads: all juicy positions are headed by the North. Is Nigeria one? Femi Fani Kayode speaks. And this guy is one controversial person that is very sensitive about things that are happening in the country, and he likes to take stock of things. He's one of the major critics of the Muhammadu Buhari's administration, and he's coming up with this one, which calls for so much analysis from Nigerians as he opened up the eyes of Nigerians about this. But before we go on to all of that discussion, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. All right, let's look at the news in detail.
Femi Fani Kayode, a popular critic of the Buhari-led federal government, has blasted his lopsided appointment into juicy offices. This has generated heated debate, with some venting their anger and calling the president some unprintable names. Femi wrote, NPA, that's Nigerian Port Authority, Northern Muslim. NNPC, Northern Muslim. Customs, Northern Muslim. FIRS, Northern Muslim. PENCOM, Northern Muslim. Minister of Finance, Northern Muslim. Minister of Petroleum, Northern Muslim. All security, military, paramilitary, and intelligence agencies except for Navy, Northern Muslim. INEC, Northern Muslim. NPC, Northern Muslim. Senate President, Northern Muslim. Chief Justice, Northern Muslim. President of Court of Appeal, Northern Muslim. He even promises to release more statistics. Femi, a lawyer, a columnist, historian, poet, old Harrovian alumni of London and Cambridge, former spokesman to President Obasanjo, former Minister of Culture, former Minister of Aviation, is a popular voice of the opposition party. You'll be seeing some of his tweets and his, or as we keep talking, you keep seeing it in our videos as we're talking.
All right, thank you very much. This guy is quite a very controversial person, and not just controversial. He's one person that observes a lot and like to bring it out so that in the nearest future he can remind Nigerians that I had spoken about this and you guys took it for levity, and now he has spoken again. I just want to look at the tweet, and before we go in, let's check out some replies from Nigerians, who went to his Twitter account and, reply him. This one talks about, he said, poverty stricken, not. Out of school children, not. Insurgency, not. High illiteracy level, not. High mortality rate, not. That one is a straight reply to him, that as much as good things are coming to the North, we are also encountering, a lot also, terrible things are also happening there. Another person here said, Oga, wait for your time. I don't know when the time will come. Another one here say, you are trying to say Muslims are the cause of trouble in Nigeria. That is our problem. We Nigerians, religious crisis and tribalism. Another one say here, who Southern brother help? If them like, make them bring Chinese to hate all ministry. I grew up and hustled in this country on my own, and it wasn't easy even when we had our southeast on the realm of power. Abeg, who he help? Nigeria and Niger until the day they split off. Wow, you can imagine what someone is saying there. This is really, really serious. Another one say here, where were the southern leaders when the northerners gave their brothers job opportunity even without merit? They were busy sipping kunu. Every southern leader has failed woefully. The North has one agenda, which is our agenda in the South? What is our agenda in the South? Greedy loot. Wow. Another one says here, you need to know one thing, sir. This post adds no advantage to the Northerners. As a former minister, this doesn't suit you. When do you want to achieve? Remember, Buhari is not supported by all Northerners. If this is what you call opposition, then you are still a child. The reactions are really actually not in favor of him right now. This one says, it served the southern Christians who were there and felt he had all the time to spend there, right? No sane person will be in a position and will not appoint or empower majority of his own into office. But that wasn't the case in Jonathan's time. All right, we are through with that. Let's look at it critically. He has listed, and it generated a lot of concern from this part, as most people are of the opinion that it's so much, and some are also looking at the ministerial list that it was equally distributed. What do you have to say about this? Do you think that this is a slap on other ethnic groups?
Well, in as much as I am very apolitical, I usually don't like to take sides unduly. I try to look at facts placed before me and make my stand. Let's start from Jonathan's time. During Jonathan's time, he did some really unique things that when he left and came back to Biafra, a lot of people practically called him names, that even the road down to Eke is not even proper. He had to quickly, work on it as he was coming back home. That clearly shows you that he carried the one Nigerian metra in his mentality, and even to the point that as an incumbent, no one puts someone who's going to either decide your fate to stay or go into a stranger. You rather put it to your own brother who would determine that you remain. What do I mean? He brought in the INEC chairman, that's Professor Jiga, was INEC chairman then, who was neither Christian nor from the southeast or southwest or even south. He was a core northerner and a Muslim. He believed that, look, we are one Nigeria and every sensitive position should be properly shared so that no particular ethnic group will feel marginalized or misrepresented. Now, he even went further that some of the schools, universities that the North are enjoying this, about 6 was inaugurated during Jonathan's time. None, not even one, was inaugurated in Biafra, where he's coming from. Now that is the one Nigerian mentality I'm talking about. He made sure that some of even the sensitive positions, when it comes to the defense, it was still North he gave it to. He tried to carry everyone along as best as he could. Now you could imagine the feeling when this list of very sensitive, juicy heads come. I'm not saying that the Southwesterners or the Southerners are not beginning position, but the question is the juicy ones that are quite sensitive, who are heading them? We just mentioned some of them. Now, if the president is a northerner, the vice is a southwesterner, and the Senate president, who is the third man in command, is also a northerner, don't you think it's 2 against 1? If you want to put it by hierarchy, where is other tribes? We have over 180 ethnic groups in Nigeria, but yet when you talk about Nigeria, you get to hear names that are more of the North than any other, making it look as if Nigeria is predominantly a northern country. It is not so. So I feel that it's a sensitive one. These appointments are not representing the true picture of the ethnicity in Nigeria. And I feel that, okay, you can imagine the Chief Justice was Onogan before now. I would have expected that since other parastatals are already having some of these northerners well represented, I would have expected him to look for any other tribe, any other person, any other ethnic group, any other learned, well-qualified people other than the North. But that's not what we are seeing here.
All right, thank you very much. But for me, this is a huge lesson for even FFK and other southern leaders, so that when they have an opportunity, they will do the right thing. The truth is, this guy coming on board, President Muhammadu Buhari coming on board, is a lesson, a serious lesson to Nigerians, a serious lesson. We have learned. Remember that before the guy wanted to come on board, there were some guys who were already very active politically far back, 1983 to 1985, and they're like, hey, don't bring in this guy. This is who this guy is. This is who this guy is. Nigerians said to hell, and before we know, we started fighting against ourselves. We even get to a point that if you go to some of those, sometimes they're having an occasion, and you see Igbos, speaking Hausa, forgetting about their language and all of that. Yes. So you're trying to tell us that, man, these guys are best. They are the owners of the country. And you realize something about these guys. Whenever they get on board anyway, they bring in their people and surround themselves. It's overly important in any leadership, especially African democracy. We've not matured to that level whereby, we have to be taking cognizance of, other ethnic group and all of that. Look at someone like Wilfred Oyoita when she was the federal head of service.
So pathetic.
Unfortunately, she didn't even employ anybody from the south. She didn't employ anybody. She will be giving conditions and all of that. A lot of crossover guys were complaining. They say she did not. Igbos were complaining. People from River State, they were complaining. But she was there. Take a Hausa man and put there. I can assure you, after a while, if you walk into any of these ministries, you begin to ask yourself questions. Am I sure I am in Nigeria, or I am in Katsina, or I am in this thing, I'm in Niger and I'm in Kano? Because those guys, they have an understanding. One of the things that we have to take into consideration here is the fact that some of these guys are not being, brought from their homes to come and be, heads of these juicy positions. They grew by rank, because when the Northerners, they had an opportunity, the little people that had education with them, they pushed them into power, make sure that they were growing very fast. They were growing very until they get to the topmost position. Sometimes you look at a particular ministry, the first 5 guys, they are all Hausas.
So you still have to pick them.
So you still have to pick them. You cannot go hijack anybody from somewhere. When you have opportunity to employ, and guess what? There are some tribes now who have that knowledge in individual states. If you look at individual states, you see some particular tribes that are very, very intelligent. Go to Rivers. Go to some other tribes. You just realize that they are very sensitive. A man will just come in, and the next thing, he will pack his local government people. He will throw in. He will put them everywhere, because he knows that by the time he stays there for the next 8 years, if this appointment is for 8 years, at least before I leave, my people will form the basis. Before you say who goes there, or maybe you want to interrogate me or whatever, my people will be key. They will be everywhere. That's the wisdom. Not to go there and begin to show British style as if you don't know anything. You begin to, they'll be playing around. Oga. That Oga will make you forget about your own people. Look at Jonathan. Today, is he not regretting? Most of the time, when we're talking, he will just be quiet. He can't say anything, because we were given that opportunity. Even instead of him doing the right thing, he ended up being so foolish. How can you make somebody that will decide your fate to be a northerner when you are going to stand against a northerner? You make a northerner to be what were you expecting? Do you think that he can fight against? These guys are really loyal to themselves, irrespective of their level of education. They believe that this country belongs to them. I'm not trying to be, ethnic driven here, but it's a lesson that must be learned from every other time. Look at exactly. FIRS is out. Who came in? A Southeasterner. A Northerner. That one. Sorry, a Northeasterner came in to take over from him. Doesn't mean that there are not other people. These guys are smart dudes. You may say they are educationally behind. You're only being foolish.
The reason why they were bringing that allegation so much about this FIRS and the 90 billion they say is tax is not because a northerner was a southwesterner was there, and they're bringing the allegation to someone like what's his name, Yemi Osibajo. Now imagine that a northerner not being there. whatever will happen and nobody will hear. The thing will be quiet. It will be moving around. But because it's a Southwesterner, the whole thing came out, everybody was shouting, 90 billion taxpayers' money. Now that the Northerners is taking, things will be moving quietly. Nothing will. See Mayana's case. This Pencom. What are we saying? These are very juicy positions we're talking about here.
That's just it. So it's something we've got to learn from. We just have to learn from them, because we think we are educationally up there, but when they talk about natural wisdom, those guys that got it, I give it to the Northerners. Those guys got natural wisdom. Look at what a respondent said here. Some of us, I've never tasted government money in my whole life. I've never tasted it. To say, okay, you work for one federal parastatal, you work here. Because you go and present, you even have masters, you present, you see your own person that is in that position will begin to give you conditions that you look at him or look at her and you begin to wonder. Now, why is it that a lot of people have backed out from this whole thing? It's because, thus far, I have never received any help from anybody. So if the country wants to crash, even if it wants to fall into the hands of any, let it fall in. They are not interested. But some of us are interested because we're praying that God should help because of the future, our children, that are involved and all of that. So our leaders, if you are hearing us and you're going to be a leader someday, maybe you have a PhD, you're growing, or you have a master's, you're already in the federal strata and all of that, you're growing. It's something you've got to stock in your brain, that charity does what? Begins at home. It begins at home. It does not begin from afar. It starts from home. You cannot keep empowering other people and leaving your people. You have opportunity to fix people. You'll be telling stories. You'll be telling stories. And before you know, they kick you out of that position and you begin to blah when they come against you and all of that. That's where we are going to leave it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Go to our comment section and let us interact. What's your take on what FFK has said?